Mikolo, you're frozen. I don't know if you can hear me at all. Paul?
Well, let me take this opportunity to welcome you to the Emergent Festival for 2026. Fantastic to see so many people here.
Am I audible?
I'm going to be coordinating with my colleague Nkulu, who's now back online.
Thank you so much, Paul. Thank you so much. As I said, that it's everyone. I don't know if there's a sound behind. There's someone with a microphone that is making a little sound. Thank you so much. And welcome again. Please feel free to open your video as we are going to talk for today. I said it that welcome to Emergent Festival launch today. This is our first event from Grow Project, but the fourth one in the collab. I want to show appreciation to colleagues. And I don't know, Paul, have you welcomed these people when I went out?
Yes, I have, but I'll welcome them again.
Yes, please.
Welcome everybody again, great to be here.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And it is asked if you're not talking, please mute your sound for you. And this is what is happening. We're going to do a little activity, just a check-in. So what's going to happen? I'm going to tell you the check-in question. Then after that, I'm going to point one person, another one to another one. You're just going to give them the mic. The question is that, what does the Emergent Festival means to you? If you know what does it mean to you, please don't mind. I'd like to, colleague Paul, can I just start with you first? What does it mean, the Emergent Festival to you?
Thank you for putting me on the spot. So this is actually only my second Emergent Festival. The first one I experienced right as I joined, and it was one of the first things that I got to know about as I joined the collab. Was the Emergent Festival, and one of the first meetings I think was coming in and seeing so many faces from all around the world talking about these really interesting projects in this very kind of innovative way of funding. And I come from a fundraising background. I've seen many different methods of fundraising and methods of kind of grant delivery, and this kind of emergent thing was really exciting for me because I'd just come out of the systems thinking masters where emergence was really a kind of an interesting factor. And I can see how particularly when you have a grant program, where the collab is funded through a grant program where we decide at the beginning what we do, and then we have a kind of a compliance to do that throughout the years. But then we have great ideas as we go along, and we need a space where we can actually try and fulfill some of those ideas as they emerge. And this is what the festival is all about. So for me, it's really exciting and innovative, and I'm glad to see what emerges from it this time round. Shall I pass to Rogers? What does it mean to you, the Emergent Festival?
Oh, thank you very much, Paul. Happy and excited to be here today. This is my first Emergent Festival, and I am looking forward to learning a lot from everyone here, but also what does this festival mean to me? Personally, I think it is a space for learning and sharing, and it is a platform where different people who believe in the idea of permaculture will come together and deliberate on what can move the movement forward. So in terms of innovations and ideas from vast experiences of the different people and contributors who will be part of this festival. So I thank you very much, and probably pass it to Maria.
Maria, are you there? Yes.
Can you hear me? Hello? I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, you are audible. You can proceed.
Okay. Something is going on with my laptop, so yeah, I'm not sure if I am in or out. What it means for me, I don't know, I cannot put the camera. So this is probably the third time I am participating in this exercise, and I have always seen it as a really important tool to give space to some of the projects that probably wouldn't get a way to start a chance. So yes, really looking forward to see and to learn about the projects today. I quickly had a look at them on the website, but it would be much better to hear from everyone today. I will pass on to, I'm not sure who hasn't been, Josie, maybe?
I'm going to try and do my camera as well. Might take some time. There we are. It's allowing. Hello, everybody, from a very dark Malawi, although we've just got a little bit of solar power coming on, so it's good. What's it mean to me? I just think, reiterate what other people have said. It's potential. Those are the words I wrote down straight away when I heard the question. Rod just said it brilliantly. There's a lot of people out there with a lot of knowledge. And so it gives us the potential to take ideas forward from everybody. So that would be me. I will pass to Anton.
I'm very close to what Maria said. Ability to get things done that would otherwise not be possible to do. Just that. Charlie.
Hello. Yeah, I think it's a quite unique opportunity to fund a very diverse range of projects. There's been like the permaculture in Spanish, permaculture places in the metaverse, African landless project. I think such a wide range of work like happening on the ground and online. And yeah, I think it can also bring some visibility to the collab. So I will pass to Aline.
Thank you, Charlie. Good to see everyone again. And I just made it in time running with my tongue out. Sorry, because I'm really disappointed in this year's communication about the Emergent Festival. Not being able to actually have something emerge feels heavy on me. And yes, I know that the calendar is up since November, but not opening up further, I think that has been a tough one this year. And I'm hoping that this system will accept this feedback. There has been several messages of people on the new platform where we are not all up to date. Some people are even thinking of letting it all go because there is not a lot of coaching or accompanying maybe. And as the Emergent Festival, really for me as well, as other voices are echoing here, something that can emerge, visibility to the collab, new people to come in, talking about this, getting excited before you come in. And from the minute you get the first email, hey, the festival is coming on, let's do something new, or let's keep building on what was already worked on in previous years. And this year I have either totally missed the ball and haven't been able to follow communications on the platform. And then the email came 2 days ago. So I'm afraid to say that the Emergent Festival this year for me means it looks like it's something inside the collab and not so much opening up to new people coming in. So that's a shame, but I still hope that there is projects that are going to be doing exciting things. So I'll be looking forward to hearing presentations, as I have not had any time to look at anybody's presentations or what is coming up. I hope that there is indeed something that is new and fresh and exciting that I can put my vote behind. So sorry for the bit of negativity, but I think the system is resilient enough to hear this feedback and work with it. So I'll pass on to Kate. Can you speak? Are you with us? No, if not Kate, then maybe Kikeletso.
Good evening. Good evening. Let me put my face on because I'm new to Collab. I'm not going to have my face on all the time because of bandwidth issues. Hi, everyone. This is my first Collab Emergent Festival. I'm attending it for the first time. I've been on the Collab space for quite a while, but it's only this year that I am able to participate fully. So yeah, I'm quite excited to be in this space. And the Emergent Festival for me is exactly what the previous speakers have said. It's literally the emergence of an idea, of a shared idea. As one of it's what we call ourselves. We have a saying called because you are, and as a result, I cannot exist or I cease to exist if you do not exist.
The audio is very bad, Kekele, so maybe it's easier for you without the camera.
Let's try that. Let me see.
Maybe you can switch your video off now and open your mic.
Video. Is that better?
Much better.
Is that better? Oh, fantastic. So I was just saying that for me, the Emergent Festival, it's a celebration of a shared idea that speaks of a philosophy that I believe in, a philosophy of Ubuntu, a philosophy that says, I am because you are, a philosophy that celebrates your existence. And it says, if you cease to exist, I do not exist, because when no one knows I exist, my existence means nothing to no one. And if the earth ceases to exist, I cannot exist. And so this shared idea for me is what's important. And I think coming into the collab and into this Emergent Festival is a celebration of these emerging ideas that celebrate this common idea. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
Thank you, Mekeke. Can you please pass the mic to someone else who haven't spoken?
I will pass the mic to Joe.
Hi, everybody. I'm not going to be on video. You've all seen me many times. For me, Emergent Festival is a home for innovation, for all those dreams that perhaps were in the parking lot and needed to see just a bit of sun to be validated. And my hope for this Emergent Festival, or the things that we have done in the past, is for somehow not just leave them at the threshold of Emergent Festival when it ends, to actually take it forward into the future, right? Like, we've done so many projects in the name of Emergent Festival in the past years. And I'm hoping that we continue that work and not just stay at the prototype level or at the, testing or validating an idea level. Well, that's me. I would like to invite Julius. I think you've not gone.
Yes, hello. Yeah, I don't think there remains much for me to say. The Emergent Festival, to me, is a great opportunity to learn about permaculture projects in the making. Yeah, I will pass on to who hasn't spoken yet. Vida, I think.
Yeah, thank you. Geez, I've done some really cool projects through Emergence Festival, and I'm really looking forward to working with. I think for me, it's a lot about like working with new people and kind of crafting new connections. Even though the outputs and work is kind of interesting in itself, I definitely feel like that is maybe where I'm leaning into tonight. So yeah, I'm double checking. I think Rory has not spoken.
Correct.
Okay.
The Emergent Festival for me is an opportunity to hear the projects which are going to be presented to the collab. I have no idea how it's going to go because this is my first time attending. But it's also good to meet you lot. It's happy to see permaculture around the world and not just a little island of Ireland. So I'm looking forward to an entertaining hour ahead of us. I'll pass on to whoever hasn't spoken. Amy.
Thank you. It's a big question for me. I mean, I was inspired to create the Emergent Festival after seeing the co-budget software because it allowed people to vote with their money, and we always wanted to make sure that there is a little, at least some of the money from the grant is left to be allocated in a flexible way. And in that respect, we were lucky that the funder accepted this and wanted to support it. So we actually have two flexible pots, the Emergent Festival pot and the diversity stipend and grant. For me, it's all about rewarding and encouraging ongoing engagement in the collab so that anything that is started here is continued in the collab within the collab structure. So that, and I think this has been a little bit missing in the past, and I'm hoping to see more of it this time around. Thank you, Paul, for sharing. Yes, we hear the funding circle, who is in charge of the administration and the grant management, has shared the feedback form. So you can leave your feedback there, and it will influence the design for the next coming events if we get funded. Remember that this is not something to take for granted. We work very hard collectively in the collab for the funder to be happy with us, for this to continue. It's not free money. The people who are in the circles work all year round with and without funding for this funding to be possible. And also, thank you very much to the coordinators who have agreed to take on this mantle and to help the Grow admin team to make sure that this festival can actually happen. With the infrastructure we have in place is to make sure we follow community consent procedures. And so this may be received as a flexibility, but it's also baked in. So if people are ongoingly engaged in there and keeping up, and as Eileen said, there is also, actually, I don't really agree with everything what Eileen said, but the Welcome Circle and the Digital Circle do an excellent job at supporting new people to join the space. And in that respect, I want to thank Joe, who bent over backwards to accommodate Kakalesto's last minute onboarding to be able to participate in this festival in time. And I'm also very happy to see new people coming in, and I hope that you will remain active in the collab for many years to come. And with that, I can pass back on to whoever hasn't been.
Maybe raise your hand if you haven't been yet.
Yes. Going twice. I think everyone has spoken. Thank you so much.
Just from Kate, Mukulu, because she
yes.
can't open her mic. But she did put there in the comments, I think what all of us are saying, it's about those emergent projects allowing us to focus on new things as they come in, and she's excited to be part of that.
Thank you so much, Paul. Thank you. Appreciate as we are. I'm hearing you, all of us. We are here because for different things. But one of the things that I like is here to learn and unlearn, and mostly to collaborate. It's nice when we are here and putting money to different projects. As Amy says. So while we are here to make visible that they measured in the community within the agreed international permaculture collapse. Vision and mission is active. Members of the International Permaculture will support the Emergent project within at the edge of the college. And just as we are checking in, I remember that let's check in who's here. We have the Rockstars here, the Ravers, we have second members, the Grow Project, working groups, we have the members of the collab, we have also a crew that is also here. What is the intention? Today's intention is for the Rockstars to present their project to the Ravers. Also, larger concepts of Goal Project internationally. Amy, can you just a little bit tell us more about what changed? Last year it was the next project. Now this year we see it's actually a Grow project. Can you please few minutes or seconds tell us what changed? Yes.
So very shortly, well, first of all, the grant is finished. The Next Steps project grant finished at the end of last year. And then the funding circle got together and we shaped together how we will proceed. Basically, we had to write an application, a new application. We were invited to submit a concept note. So the concept note for the Grow project was put together and sent to for community consent. And now all the Grow projects that you see today are basically the result of all the imaginariums that all the previous Next Steps project contributors had put together, along with the circles. And that's the result is the Grow project. The Grow project is bigger than the last project, so we have more money now allocated to the collab than in the Next Steps project. So that's one success. There were things that changed. So the policies have all been updated to reflect feedback received from last year's Next Steps project and patterns that we see. And a part of these changes are also in the Emergent Festival policy by Julius. And so some changes were that, for example, there is a minimum of 3 people in the team instead of 2, because we found that 2 people teams are vulnerable to if one person leaves, it's more vulnerable. So the continuity of the project is endangered. So there's a minimum of 3 people. Like last year's, we have the list of ravers, and the list of ravers is made up of circle members, and that includes the volunteers. So you see, for example, Rogers is a volunteer with the funding circle. With the comms circle. So volunteers have been included also as circle members, and also the top active users have been included. Obviously, we have changed platform between last year and this year. We are now up to about 130 users. And so I think most people have migrated from the old platform, but of course it's a lot to get used to. The notification system is different. You can customize stuff on your account. So people are still getting used to that, the changes that are coming in. In the accountability policy, now we have included something called the Group Accountability Officer. So each Emergent Festival group that is successful will also have to appoint a Group Accountability Officer. We have provided now team agreement templates, which the Emergent Festival teams didn't have before. So it's an adapted version of the Grow team agreements, which we have templates for. Again, this is to help teams work well together, prepare for conflict, talk about how the work is going to be allocated, so that every team member in the Emergent Festival is participating to, let's say, equitable amount. Not that we have named someone there just for filling in the numbers, so that's not okay. So everyone is expected who is a member of the team to be contributing actively to that team's work. There's also some reporting that goes into it. We try to keep this time the reporting to a minimum so that not so much overhead is on the teams. And of course, we have these events, same as usual. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. The billing for this time, instead of being December, we have a payment round in November. So that's a little bit earlier than was last year. So thank you for our fiscal host to be flexible with this, because we have to operate within the constraints that we have. And I think that's pretty much it. Have I missed anything out?
Thank you so much. I think everyone that has a problem or a question, they can just post their question on the chat. And one of the most important things, Amy, that you have mentioned is that consequences of not following the policy is that we want people to feel accountable for their applications and see them through delivery. Part of deliverable changes should not be notified to the crew properly. So thank you so much for doing that. And to repeat again, this year the funding limit is still 1,000, and we have like 6,850 to allocate, and we only have 7 applications. It's going to be very nice. So it is also, I don't know, it is important that you remember that the policies are listed in the emerging festival subcategory about pinned and they are there, they are pinned. Watch the subcategory for props, please. Every time watch that, learn that, have put time for every channel, every subcategory, and learn it so that you cannot have problems with that. And all participants must attend every event from today, mid-year, year-end celebration. It is indeed a good day today. We are happy. It's the beginning of good things. We are here. This is the day we're going to make sure that we play with money, putting money in a good place. Absentia will be only tolerated in case of emergency, and responsible for your own bucket, monitor allocating funds, negotiate scope, and adjust objectives as progress measures. Ask and seek support as needed. If there's anything that you want to know, please don't feel like you know it. Just ask. Then we are there. So yeah, without wasting that time, also we are going to do this. We are going to get into well, let's perspective. Amy, okay, you can edit. Yes.
Sorry, because now I remember what I missed out. The other things that has changed is that the digital circle is more fully supporting the working group. So we are providing Nextcloud accounts for all group members and working folders, which you have to use also not only for final work but for ongoing work, so to get people more used to the open source tools that the CoLab has. And we're also giving you access to the lane time, where you are expected to log your tasks and hours accordingly, so that we are accountable in that way also to the community.
Yes, thank you so much for pinning that. It's very important also that yes, indeed there will be a folder that is sent by digital of the crew to you as a participant of your project, so you can know you can co-work in that particular space. If it happens someone is not present, maybe the project starts in a way so that it can be not in the Google Drives, but in the space of the CoLab where it can be accessible. Yes, now someone can just follow with me. We are about to get into a very serious hot session for actually off pitches. I don't know how ready are you, but I feel like we only going to have seven. We're going to have 7 teams who are going to represent today. So we're not going to give you a lot of time. We're going to give you a little time. I think 11 minutes. But before we do that, we want to know what is the project about and what will it benefit the CoLab and who are on the team. And most importantly, how does the project fit in the CoLab structure? Which circle are you collaborating with? That would be nice to hear from you without wasting any time. By counting 4, 3, 2, 1. Now I'm about to open a difficult and nice chapter whereby we're going to have presentations from various 7 participants from today. So it's gonna go like this way. Number 1, rehoming the permaculture map and connecting the movements. As you are coming forward, these are the scopes or lines to follow in the inbox, in the chat. Thank you so much. Over to you. Who is there, the rehoming and the permaculture map connecting the movements?
That's Maria.
Yes, Maria, please come. The mic is here. Please come through. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Is it possible to share something like my screen? I haven't done this on this platform.
At the bottom, next to the icon next to the chat.
Okay.
It's a box with an arrow inside it.
Yeah, I can see it now. Can I select a window?
Would you like me to share it while you talk? Would that be easier?
I think that would be easier because it's not letting me share.
That's okay. You want to share the map, no? The website with the map.
Well, no, it's just a short presentation, just really short.
Okay.
So let me share
It's
it with
okay,
you.
Maria. You can also just talk through it. It's not a problem.
Okay, I will talk. I will just go quickly through the presentation without sharing it. So thank you so much. I guess I have 10 minutes, less than 10 minutes. So this project is, in a way, continuation of the work that has been done in previous years, and this has been the collab mainly, with some support from the Permaculture Association. My name is Maria Paez. I am part of the Permaculture Association. I'm the international lead for the organization, and one of the projects that we've been involved in is the creation of the global permaculture map. So just to say, there is lots of work already done. Part of this project was Kate before, so she was leading on this before. So when we met with Amy and Anton, who are the other members of this project, we were talking about how to continue the work that has been done. So currently there is a global permaculture map, and there is a website, and there is a platform, and there is as well there is a database that was built. So the technical side has been developed. There is lots of information there. There is an important foundation on that work. And there are some organizations that have entered data and have registered to be part of the map. At the moment, it's showing around 15 organizations, but there are more that have been added. And yeah, we can invite more. But what we found in the previous part of the project is that people, well, as you know, permaculture is run by volunteers. So entering data or anything that is in addition to anything they are already doing is just a lot of effort for them. So although we invited them and we encouraged them to register on the platform, we don't have yet enough data there, but there is some. We are also aware that there are other networks that have their own maps and data sets, and that covers like things like the transition movement, agroecology. So yeah, there are others with similar challenges. And in terms of the challenges in terms of this project, is that at the moment the map is on a platform that is it has its own hosting costs, and there is some maintenance to cover. It's not very visible because it's not part of the collab. So the idea is to push and transfer all the information to a new website that is part of the collab, so it's maintained. The hosting costs are covered, and it would be easier, hopefully, to share and to make it visible to more people. So yes, that's basically what we are planning. We are planning as well to connect, as I said, well, I mentioned some movements and other organizations that are aligned to permaculture. So we were considering agroecology, we were considering the transition movement, and as well we were thinking about the global eco-village network and the European networks as well that are connected to permaculture. They have as well different organizations that are already networks. So how to contact them and how to merge data in just one map. So if any, there are as well, we know that there are maps out there, there are organizations out there that do permaculture, do agroecology. They could be an eco-village. Many eco-villages do permaculture. They started doing permaculture. So it's about having a map that has many layers, and a project can be found in any of these, with any of these strands, with any of these different options to find a project that is connected to permaculture. The idea as well behind this is to maybe decentralize a bit the ownership, so there is not just one organization doing the whole work of collecting data, but maybe more organizations themselves updating their own data. This is, to explain this is a bit more technical, so Anton might be able to explain just more on that. But as well, to reduce duplication, there's no point of having, I don't know, 10 big networks collecting information when we can have just one map and just one data set. So that's as well the idea behind. What I don't know if I have missed anything. The main objectives would be to migrate the map to the collab, again, to reduce the costs. Explore connections with other organizations and other networks who are holding or are owners of maps, and explore different approaches to merge that data, or how we can have just one map, and identify the next steps in terms of collaborating with these organizations as well. What is going to help everyone, or what is important, this is because it's going to have the map per se is going to be more visible. We will have more connections within permaculture, but as well with other movements. And as well, it will be a shared asset for a wider ecosystem of organizations. I think that's it. I don't know, Amy, Anton, would you like to add anything I have missed?
Only that this is an excellent example of cross-circle collaboration and the potential that is possible here. So first of all, several thousands of pounds have already been invested into this project. And now we want to make sure with this little emergent money that it is migrated into a platform which is financially supported, which is basically a part of the collab. So we can integrate that into the grant better. The other thing is that it builds on the excellent work of the communications, outreach, and engagement, where we already have done a lot of outreach with other associations and people who have maps. For example, we have excellent connection with the UPN, the IPC and other organizations, and also PUB. This is an excellent example where CoLab is collaborating directly with PUB for a shared asset that can actually put permaculture better on the map for the funding circle to utilize. So so we can make the case better for funding permaculture by having a strategic map. As I want also to thank the previous teams that were working on this, the project, to answer the last question, how does this fit in the CoLab infrastructure? This project is a sub-project of the Digital Circle where it has its home. A lot of volunteer hours have already been put into it on top of the grant money that was invested in previous years. So it would be really amazing if you could support us a little further so that we can migrate the map and make sure that there's more data points and we have those connections with other map holders to have this. Another technical thing is that this is all on open source technology. Like, thank you and that's thanks to Yuan and Kate who have been collaborating with the Murmurations project to make sure this map is portable and able to be compatible also with other maps so that we can reduce the maintenance also of maintaining it whilst everyone still owns their own data.
I can also talk if there is time.
I think you're left with 1 minute. You can just talk quick and turn.
Okay, I'll go for 1 minute then. Currently it is its own website, completely separate. So in a way, it looks like it's part of the CoLab website, but actually it uses a lot of resources to serve one page, which is quite inefficient. So by bringing it in, it's also better for efficiency and effectively for the climate, because we're using far less resources to serve that page by inlining it into the main site. Just thought I would add that bit.
Okay, thank you so much. Rory is asking if you are allowed or they're allowed to take questions. Are you allowed to take questions, Amy, after this presentation? Are you open for questions?
Sure, but also it's better to do them in writing as well. So every raver that comes after who is not here can also see the answers. Yeah. Yes,
Okay.
We're open to questions.
Okay. Okay, Rory, can you have I see that you said you have a question. Can you ask a question and we'll go to our next presenter. And I hope that the reels have had the presentation. Do you have a question, Rory?
I'll put it in writing. It's important to get through tonight.
Okay. No problem. Thank you so much. Without wasting any time, we have a second presenters today. Thank you so much for the first presenters. Because of my colleagues, the crew, because of time, Jose asked that she's meeting a lot actually now in 20 minutes time. So in 15 minutes time. So let's just call upon permaculture in Africa, deepen our roots. Then Josie is coming up front by saying that, can you please give us some splashes on this? Please, let's give us splashes. Thank you.
Hello, can you hear me?
You are audio.
I've tried to put, there we go. It's been a challenging week here. We have a lake that is at the highest level for 47 years and is lapping on our door. So this is why the power constraints are real. We've got a few hours of power every day. So this is not going to be the perfect pitch. I'm just going to tell it how I see it now. I'm going to try and answer the main questions, which are who is on our team, which is, as always, Amy, amazing, me and Makulu and Vida. And it's great to see Paul now involved, and Rogers, great to have you involved. It's also great to see Kekaletso here on the group. So I already feel that the Permaculture in Africa Circle is working its magic, even though we have limited technology. So I will go to the pitch straight away. It links back to building on what we did last year. It's all about building blocks. what we started last year was Africa's massive, isn't it? So we're trying to make this pathway easier for people from this massive continent to access all of you guys and the resources and knowledge that is available and the connections, really. So that's what we started last year with our Emergent Festival thing. And I think we are, like I said, I think we're getting there because there are 2 people on this call that I haven't seen before. And as in practical things that we're going to do, it's been a big switch, I think, already moving from Slack to Discourse. So some of the things that we put in place then have taken transition. So now it's about getting those things working. So the guide that we've written, we want to actually see it as an active guide that people are using. So we want to make it put time in for newcomers to the circle to see what's working, getting feedback, see how we can improve it to make those steps easier. We want to reach out if we think the guide is working, then we want to reach out to key people in African networks so that they can be the link to their country or whatever to bring the people who can make use of this onto the network. It's all about it is mind-boggling when you come onto it, and especially with limited bandwidth, and we don't have the luxury of just taking time to go through things. So you have to really learn things on a whim and a short time frame. So making those proper connections with the people who can make it easier for people to connect. So I think that's in our thing. Working with the welcome circle so that the people that do come on, we take some extra time onboarding people so that they can properly find what they need, so that they get the steps they need. And I might have missed something, but I'm not sure. And I'm open for any questions because, like I said, it was a very quick pitch. And if any of my team can help me with anything that I might have missed, I also up for that.
I think just you have said a lot. You have said enough in terms of permaculture in Africa is bringing accessible, ways for African permaculturists to tap into the space of collab. And as we've been working with a colleague, it's been, it's been very interesting and very excited to work with this project. So, but looking forward for easier way and looking forward for upcoming permaculturists or people who want to be the members of the collab to have easier way to come into the space. So this is a home for Africa, especially permaculture, and here we understand like working, collaborating, and learning, and especially with the spirit of Ubuntu as legislators take kind. So I'm gonna leave. There's a lot of us in this particular program. Project. So I'm just gonna leave maybe to Roger or Vida to maybe or Amy to say maybe a few words. Then after we can move on. Thank you so much.
I think the only thing I want to add, and Josie, thank you so much for presenting for us and representing always, is just the amount of volunteer hours that has already gone into this. Something worth noting, I didn't see it in the budget, but Amy volunteers when she's doing this. And we all put in like a lot of volunteer time. Like Josie has basically completely adapted the guide for the discourse space already, and it's only left to like test and review. And so that like lets us do a lot more with this budget. So I just want to celebrate that a bit. But yeah, I'm really excited to hear from Rogers as well, if you're able to speak.
Yeah. To me, yeah. Yeah, thank you very much. I think much has been said, and Majorly, I won't be adding a lot or whatever, but yeah, whatever has been discussed is what we are planning to majorly focus on, and most importantly, ensuring that yeah, we push and bring on more people in the permaculture section in Africa, but also ensuring that that the message that the message about the permaculture association in Africa is outside there for people to know about what we do and what we stand for.
Thank you so much, Amy. Before I give people to answer some questions, ask questions, do you want to say anything? Because you've been investing your time, you've been volunteering for a long time without pay, especially to see this the Permaculture Africa to be active, and you've been there, you've been pushing us, you've been there every time. Do you want to say something before we move on?
Only that I see a lot of will and capacity, and yes, I push people so that things don't fall between the cracks, because I really value this circle and I think it has great potential. The circle also meets when it's not funded, and just like other people said, Josie has done also a lot of voluntary work there, as have done other people from the last project. So thank you for your support already in advance. I'm sure people will be generous with this circle. It integrates perfectly in the collab structure because it is a circle and people have taken the trouble and the time to incubate that. And that's no mean feat. Like, it's not easy. So yes, let's recognize and celebrate that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yes, just you have done so well. We are talking to money spenders. We are talking to money givers today. So as we are doing presentation, I hope that your heart is being softened. You are thinking that this is past two projects. I'm going to put in my money in there. I believe in them. But without wasting time, I just want to take one question. But there's questions. There is a link in the chat that has been specifically given according to your personal group. If you have questions there, please go there and follow the instructions. So I don't know if I should take the question or should I go to the next one. But if you want to ask a question, let me just be sure that you can just raise your hand, then I will see that this particular person wants to participate or they want to understand something. Then without wasting any time again, I would like to call upon the established research and education and training circle. I don't know, as they are coming, we need to make sure that we give them some splash. Thank you so much. Who are they?
Okay, it's Rory here. Are you all ready? Yeah, this is an exciting new circle which is being proposed. And I'll take the three things: research, training, and education, in one by one. I've just joined the collab, and it struck me that I looked at all these projects and I couldn't find outputs anywhere stored for them. So one of the main things that as far as research is concerned, is actually holding on to this information, finding a place for it, promoting it, and all those other good things. Because when the project runs out of funding, from what I can see, it just stops. Now, I may be wrong there. As I say, I've just joined the collab, but it just seems to stop. I can't find any outputs from it. So that would be one of the first things that this new group would do, would be to work with those circles or groups or projects to hold on to the outputs and store them somewhere and make them available. And as I say, promote them. It's somewhat similar with training and education. From what I understand, a number of circles are actively doing training, doing education. But again, there's no coordinating circle in the collab for all that good work. And that's one thing that, again, that this circle would do. So it would coordinate training. It would make the education and training visible. So promote it again, and it would also curate it. And one of the very important things it could possibly do, and all these will be decided as once we've established the terms of reference and everything, is we could add value to existing trainings by offering peer reviews. In other words, create a consistent output from the collab. And that we could create a collab approved badge for training. In other words, make sure that the training has got the stamp of approval on it, and make that stamp of approval mean something. So collab training actually is the Rolls Royce or whatever the equivalent non-motor car badges of training. It's the top level of training. It would help. That would also help raise collab profile. And one of my pet things it would really help, such a peer review and so on, is to make permaculture more available to everybody. And that brings me to the last idea that of the new circle is perhaps, for example, to create a platform for all the collab trainings to come from. This might be a long time in the future, but having that platform available, this platform could do the administration, and as I said earlier, the actual certification or whatever you want to call it of the particular trainings to make them of a consistently high quality. So that platform would allow the educators to do what they're good at, which is educate. It could, and I say could, and I need to stress could, take, for example, the administration away. It could take the feedback. I mean, I don't know how many permaculture workshops or classes actually gather feedback. And if they do gather it, what do they do with it apart from make it good for themselves? It could take that feedback and make it available to future educators and future courses and everything else like that. So yeah, that's the idea of the circle. It's an ambitious circle, but I think it is of great significance for the collab in a new phase, if you like, or the next phase, whereby it draws everything together and creates a level of consistency, which I'm not saying isn't there at the moment, but isn't there formally, from what I understand at the moment. So please give us all your money. And Amy, do you want to say anything?
I think you did really well with the presentation. I want to stress that many thousands of pounds from the grant money since we started from Capacity Plus to today have gone into training and research, a lot of research. We have a lot of research projects which no longer are continuing because there is no funding. And so this circle would be a home for that. And it would also give us some strategic overview. Okay, we have this amount of research on this topic, like what is the continuation of it? What do we do with it? What, like some continuity, and also to value, like Rory said, to promote it, to continue it, and make sure it's not orphaned, because orphaned projects become quickly obsolete. And so, yeah, I hope people are excited. I want to call on Jo if she wants to add anything else.
Just one point, that if ever collab is looking for suggestions or recommendations or guidance on research training, we never had one place we could go to, and this circle would be that. So in a sense, we are putting the effort to come together, make a home for, as Amy said, the orphaned work we have ever done, and then make that as a foundation of future work to be built on, instead of reinventing the research or whatever was provided. People can start from there. That's it. Good job.
Are there any immediate questions?
Not the questions, but about the structure question, we would be a circle just like other circles are. So we would be an integral part of the collab structure, and we will collaborate with all the circles that have produced and will produce research also in this GROW project. So basically it's an integration project. It's not a circle that takes over any one research, but it's a working together in collaboration, just as the collab is intended to be.
Yeah, I should point out that that is one of our objectives. One of the SMART objectives is in 6 months' time to do a poll of all the circles, just to make sure that we are inclusive and that they are and that we are trying to achieve for them what they want in this area. So back to you, Nicolo. I don't see our
Thanks,
host anymore.
Rory. I'll take it.
Yes,
Thank you for that. And as you can see in the chat, if you have any questions about this project, please post it in the link provided, which is, we're trying to keep everything on Discourse. You know, all of the discourse should be on Discourse and not.
Live streaming is on.
And we're back. So without further ado, let's hand over to the Business Lab team.
Hello, and I'm very sorry for not having my video on, but I'm going to be presenting for us. So I think some of you will remember last year we did the mapping permaculture business models. We had some of you participating. Aline and Amy came in. And what our vision really was is like, what does it actually take to make a permaculture ethical business viable? And what are the underlying structures? And so what we did is a really storytelling, qualitative research where we did these interviews with people and gathered this incredible richness. And from that, we developed a guide which has the analyzed transcripts. It also has this model that we created, which because the interviews took up a lot of time, that model is something that we really want to come together and refine more and work on. But the model is really something we feel could be a new way, like a more inspiring way of creating organizations in permaculture. And so if you haven't seen the guide, it is linked in our core budgets as well. And I would really encourage you to go and check it out, because also like gathering feedback and like getting people to engage with this is a huge part of that. So what we're looking for this year is, and we also created this these archetypes, which was kind of exploring business through the metaphor of nature and through the metaphor of permaculture design, and kind of like, what does it take to be successful in your ecosystem? And success here meaning like integrated and like use no, like produce no waste and all of these amazing permaculture principles. Like that was kind of our metric for success. And so also like taking those archetypes a little bit further, making it more applicable. Also the guide is quite long, so we wanted to like create more visual videos, short form, kind of like more engaging content on it. But a huge part of it is for us to actually be able to come together as a team and really kind of move through like the model and the archetypes and get a bit deeper, and then create like really practical design activities, as much as there is something that exists there now, like just to really deepen that. And then the kind of glue that holds us together is all of the experts, I'm going to say, for not finding the right word, that we interviewed, wanted to be involved in some way, and we had like for Decca and Maura Gamble, like we had these really amazing minds, and we want to bring them together for a collaborative session. And that might look like a fishbowl or something where we invite collab members to come and watch, but really like refining the model together and coming together as like the permaculture business community. So yeah, that's definitely, maybe Mkulu and Camille, if I've missed something that you can fill in. But what I can say in terms of how it integrates is we'd kind of imagined this work would be useful to Cozy. And so we imagine like working with that group and kind of presenting this back, but also like
presenting back with like the research and education. Like this is definitely going to be something which is a resource and kind of comes out of this research basis. So maybe something that we can look at working with that circle with. But yeah, I'll just pass to Camille and Kulu if there's something that you can add in.
Hi, I'm sorry I'm late, but I'm really happy to be here. And Vida, I'll add something just because I'm so excited about this project. I think we did such a huge amount of work last year, and one of the big parts of this year is about just being able to digest that and communicate that as well, because this guide is kind of like, ooh, I don't know, 90 pages to read, and kind of you get kind of discouraged. So like what you said, being able to bring back more really the basics of like what makes it actually a permaculture business model, bringing back the ethics into it and being able to show and display that and then make practical activities is really what we're looking to do. And yeah, I think it's really exciting. It really takes place and nests into this third ethic of permaculture, fair share, and understanding that and displaying more of that, which I often feel we have less of. So this is why I'm so excited about it. Yeah. And Sikilelo, I don't know if he's connected. I think not. Oh, yes, he is. And Sikelelo, we were just presenting the project. I don't know if you were able to hear any of it or if you have something to say about the project.
Hi, colleagues. We are in Africa. We are in South Africa. So, hey, data is a problem. Yeah. Yeah, you get now the data kicked me out. I had to make a plan B. Camilla, unfortunately, I didn't hear you when we were presenting, but I believe that with the work that we did together with Mavid and yourself, with wonderful work that is been done, a lot of people, they do need this particular work that you're doing, especially the mapping or the business lab. They need it, and I've seen also with maybe that the presentation that she's been doing also, that people need this, and it's never too late to learn the modules or the business, how to run the business side of it. And with what we are bringing, I think we are bringing questions that people have been asking themselves. Thank you so much.
The next project is presenting. Nitzikalala, which one is that? I'm also noticing the time.
Yes, I'm noticing the time. Can you please help me, Amy, with the next project, Paul? What is the next project is coming up?
The next project is the audio archive, which I think maybe Charlie and team, is it? I don't want to make you the leader there. There are no leaders, but Charlie, I can see you. You look keen. You look keenest. So would you like to take that one?
Sure, thank you. So Alejandra is actually taking the lead for this project, and she had a genuine last-minute emergency, so I'm jumping in. So I'm a bit on the spot, but I'm going to do my best. So this project is going to be a series of hopefully 7 podcast episodes. I was involved in the 2 previous seasons of the CoLab podcast that got produced. And with the previous seasons, the focus was on interviewing people who were actively involved within the CoLab space. And this time the idea is to kind of go to a wider audience. I think the CoLab's really in this stage of like really trying to become visible and relevant to a much wider audience. And so the idea is to connect with people and have interviews with people who are actively involved with permaculture convergences, asking them to share their journeys, their testimonies, talking about the coherence within the permaculture movement. And yeah, also trying to talk about how the collab is related to permaculture convergences. So some names that came up were like Andy Goldring and Andrew Langford, others that Alejandra would know that I don't know, but she could talk a lot more about the permaculture convergence side of things. But yeah, I think these podcast episodes, they're kind of something tangible and solid, like they're a really good resource that can be used over time. They go on the website, they can be promoted on the various like social media channels, on the newsletter. And the kind of people that we'll be interviewing, they also have their own audience. So it's hoped that like they would share with their audience and make the collab more visible in this way. So I guess the focus for this project is just increasing the visibility and the relevance of the collab. These podcast episodes, they're like free to access. So I feel like it's a really good way to bring people into the space, and then they can explore further from there. So yeah, it's me and Alejandra and Anton, and this really fits with group 3, which is actively hoping to actively work with the IPC later this year, and also with the Com Circle, which is obviously working on the outreach. I think that's about all I have to say. Anton, you want to add anything? Okay, thank you.
Also with the PCA, which is a sub project of the Digital Circle. So it's well integrated in there.
Thank you so much, Charlie. I don't know if there's anyone want to add anything, or do we have any questions? Paul, how are we at in terms of the representation? I think every group has came up, or do we have a collab? What do we have? Who do you have next, Paul?
We have 2 left,
yes.
and I think next up is me. Exciting. So
Okay.
the next project, which I think I will be presenting, is around policy. That's something that I noticed when I first joined the collab, and my role was to fundraise for the collab around permaculture. And when I went out and looked around in the world of grant foundations and all of that, many of them were talking about agroecology. Very few of them, or talking about sustainable agriculture, lots of other different terms. Very few were saying permaculture, which I thought was interesting. Then when I moved to Africa and I started working more with African organizations, I also noticed that the governments were all pushing out agroecology, 10-year agroecology strategies as part of the Ministry of Agriculture, etc., for food sustainability and all of that. And were only occasionally referencing permaculture as a kind of a subset or a practice, which is kind of interesting because I know many permaculturists might see agroecology as a set of techniques that might fall under a broader approach that is permaculture. And as you will all know, permaculture is a very well mapped out and developed program with many courses, many programs, many strong theoretical and practical approach. And yet, as a strategy for food security or smallholder sustainable agriculture, it's often overlooked. It's just not there, particularly where I've looked in Africa, but I think all around the world. But why is that? Is it because basically permaculture and agroecology are the same thing? Do we not need to worry? Should we simply change the word and we wouldn't be losing anything? Or actually, are there many similarities, but also some important differences between the two? And should those differences, when appropriately advocated for, lead to synergies where actually these strategies that many countries will begin to follow in the years and decades will actually be strengthened? Can we actually make things stronger by looking at some of these strategies with a permaculture lens? This is something that really interesting that I've seen in Kenya, where permaculture is only mentioned 3 times in the 10-year agroecology strategy, and that's to say that it is a subset of agroecology. Also, my colleagues in South Africa, Vida and Keke, where they are developing their agroecology strategy as we speak, and will be coming out in the coming years. And also in another country like Malawi, where Kate has spent time and worked. So this project is really about trying to unpack by looking at a few different agroecology strategies that are in existence or emerging. We'll try to unpack how, from a permaculture lens, what we agree with in these strategies, what we think are good, what we think maybe a permaculture lens could actually help and improve and adapt. Ones that are already out there, but also potentially ones that are in development. We'd also like to see who's being consulted in these strategies. Is it only agroecology people? Is it also permaculture people? How are they being consulted? Exactly what we're going to do is going to emerge, being the Emergent Festival, because we need to really set out the parameters, see what information is out there, and how we can best apply this. I think this works really well in connection with the research team that Rory was talking about earlier. Because this is very kind of a central piece of research to how permaculture is viewed, certainly from a policy perspective around the world. I think it also ties in with some of the other groups and projects, and certainly a lot of our members in different countries who might be, hold on, that's true in our country as well. How can we advocate for more permaculture within the national strategies of our governments? So that's what we're going to be doing with Kate, Vida, and Keke. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right there, by the way. I don't know if anyone else has anything else to add or any questions.
It feels to me like this ties in well with the work the funding circle is doing. So the funding circle and the research circle could, and together with the communications, engagement, and outreach, I see that there are strong links there.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Sorry, because I'm in it, I forget. But yes, the funding circle, and absolutely, because I think there's a big opportunity for funding for permaculture organizations if we can have a voice within these national strategies. That's where the permaculture movement will really develop, if we become part of government strategy. And that is not the case at the moment. If it is the case anywhere, please let us know, because we'd love to hear about
it. Thank you so much, Paul, for your time. Unfortunately, I think if you have questions, Paul, please share the link for the working group, so that if they have the questions, they can go through it. Now, not the least but the last, because I'm just looking at time also. But I see if ever there's an email that came to you from Core Budget, there's an amount that has been deposited there. Without wasting any time again, I think we called our last presenter for tonight, which is Indigenous-led permaculture, pathways into collab. I would love to call Meki Kelezo to come forth and have a pie. Thank you so much.
Good evening. Sorry, I'm having a bit of technical challenges here. But good evening, and thank you so much, Mkhulu, for inviting me to speak of this project that I'm so passionate about. But just as a bit of a background, because I see a lot of people kind of know each other. Maybe just to introduce myself a little bit. My name is Gegelezo. I'm from Johannesburg, South Africa. I am a traditional healer. I am also an Indigenous knowledge activist. I work at the intersection of policy, at the intersection of activism, and the biggest thing is about inclusion, particularly into Western systems, for Indigenous knowledge to not be seen as a foster knowledge system, and to try and weave it into the Western ways of being and the Western ways of doing and knowing. And what brings me particularly great joy with this project is looking at the work that was done last year that included a lot of interviews, surveys, and needs assessments that were done around permaculture in Africa, and the development of this database of Indigenous identifying permaculture practices. This year's project kind of moves from listening into action. The project is rooted in simple but often overlooked truths, and what the world now calls permaculture has actually long existed across African landscapes as a lived and practiced knowledge. Across the continent, Indigenous communities have generations cultivated systems of land stewardship, biodiversity management, water conservation, and reciprocal relationships with nature. We don't own the land, we are custodians of the land. We do not have the ability to own the land or control the land, because in our ways of being, we belong to the land, and so we have that relationship with the land, which we should be sharing with the global community. And with that said, there have not been innovations that kind of look at this, and I think it's about time that we look at that, because our ways of living are enduring and they have sustained people and ecosystems and cultures over time. Yet in many global permaculture spaces, these practices are too often unrecognized. They are underdocumented or positioned as supplementary to Western frameworks rather than foundational to them. This project seeks to shift that narrative by centering African Indigenous knowledge systems within the CoLab. We position these practices not only as an alternatives or additions, but as critical knowledge systems in their own right. Systems that offer depth, resilience, and context in a time of ecological and social crisis. Permaculture in this context for us is not something to be taught to Indigenous practitioners. It is something to be remembered, re-articulated, and supported through platforms and tools and networks that honor its origins and enable its evolution. This work is therefore not just about access to resources or training. It's about restoring visibility, strengthening voices, and creating pathways for Indigenous practitioners to emerge into these global spaces from a place of authority and not adaptation, from a place of authority and not assimilation. And this is important because by building structured entry points into the CoLab ecosystem, this project ensures that practitioners can navigate and contribute to and benefit from these spaces, whilst remaining grounded in their own knowledge systems, cultural practices, and ecological relationships. Ultimately, for us, this is about recultivating, remembering, supporting Indigenous permaculture, not as a rediscovered concept, but as a living, evolving practice that continues to shape sustainable futures from the ground up. What's important to acknowledge is how we intend to do this, and also to understand, from a place of cultural nuance, how Africans enter global spaces and some of the challenges that they would experience in trying to enter these spaces, or what they would find as barriers to entry into these spaces. And this project kind of seeks to address those so that permaculturists from this continent are then able to enter the global space and participate and be able to share even of their own knowledge from a place of power, from a place, like I said, of not of assimilation, but of recognition that they carry the kind of knowledge and way of being that is always been, and be able to share that with the world. So one of the things that we intend to do is sharing tools that are available within the collab space to enable these practitioners to participate better in the collab, to be able to navigate the collab in a better way, to bring that, to build those connections, to also assist them with issues around communication, ethical marketing, by ensuring that we have sessions that will highlight the practical ways and systems and tools that the collab can assist in the work that they're doing from the different spaces that they function, to assist them with funding readiness resources, because these resources already exist within the collab, but you will find that people have a problem with engaging with these systems or the tools that are available. So to be able to assist them in accessing and engaging with them, and making accessing these tools a little bit more practical and easy. And again, I spoke of the issue of culture. Our African cultures are very, very different on how Western systems and Western people behave or act. And so there's a need to cultivate within the African space this mindset of leadership, this mindset of power. I mean, getting into these spaces from a place of power rather than inferiority. We cannot ever what's the word? Underestimate the effect of colonization on people and how they enter global spaces, or the fear of entering global spaces. And so it's important that even as we co-create spaces in collab, we are aware of this and we are intentional in creating opportunities and spaces to be able to make inclusion and participation possible for those who feel who feel like they're in the margins, because collab is an inclusive space. But when people don't feel like it is that way, then we need to create systems and processes that make it that it's easier and accessible for people to do that. I think in my team, I have Vida, I have Mkulu as well, and I think they can add to this. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Migeke. Maybe that I will give it over to you because we are actually running out of time. Can you please jump into it? Thank you.
Chokozani, I'm so happy, Keke, that you spoke so beautifully. And maybe just to make it simple, it's that CoLab has these beautiful resources and we're structuring this into a learning pathway through live sessions. I will expand that although we all find ourselves in Africa, this is for all Indigenous practitioners and practitioners from the Global South. And that the integrations here really sit around the permaculture in Africa circle. I think that's probably the strongest one. But also like welcoming circle is somewhere where we're wanting to connect with. And maybe just the last thing is that through this work, we're going to be discovering and trialing a kind of advanced onboarding. And therefore, we want to also hand over that those findings to the welcome circles so that that might be used for any practitioners who have kind of issues coming in. But yeah, it's a little bit different to the guide. It's more structured, and it's based on the needs assessment that we did, where people said, we have issues communicating ourselves, so we're doing a session on marketing. We have issues with like confidence, so we're doing the session on leadership. So that's how it's sort of come about. Thanks.
Amy, you can participate. Thank you so much, Vida.
I don't think handing off to the welcome circle will be enough. I think the welcome circle needs to be an integral part of this project for this to be effective. Because post-funding, the welcome circle holds the role on a volunteer basis. And much of the work is also on a volunteer basis. So it's not, if they are not part of the design of it, then they will not be able to hold it. And so I would ask that you take this into consideration as a feedback.
Okay, thank you so much. Maybe there any other question that comes up? Yes, without saying that, team, I think the most important thing is to bring the simplest ways also to bring hope to indigenous-led permaculture. That doesn't even specify a color of a race of a person or geography, but as long as indigenous, you know, there's indigenous all over the world. So this is the space for them. This is where they need to get information. This is where they need to grow, learn, and learn. Thank you so much. Without saying that, I think Paul, we have reached the last presenters of the groups for tonight. And as I'm saying that, Amy, I think we have reached that time whereby now we have to go to another space so that we can see how do we allocate and explain that to people. Congratulations to everyone that has presented today here. And thank you. Your ideas were very amazing. So now it is up to the money holders to see what is happening. Amy, can you please take us there? Thank you.
Quick demonstration. All the ravers have money in their co-budget accounts. I'm just going to show you how you can vote. So just bear with me while I do this. Let's see. All right. So can you all see my screen? Yes. So first of all, I think I need to enable.
Yes, I can see the screen.
My screen, that's perfect. Okay, good. Just bear with me while I change the settings. Not from here, funding. Funding opens. I'm going to open the funding now. It should be passed, isn't it? I put it like this. That should work. All right. So let's say I want to fund something. I'm just going to pick this one. I'm going to click on it. I'm going to click on fund, and I'm going to here allocate fund. I'm going to say it's just for showing. So I'm going to allocate all my pennies to this project. And you will see that it will tell me how much the goal is, which is £1,000, and contributed, which is 82 cents. At the bottom of down here, I'll back up here. If I click on the home, then you will see that the amount of money in this round, we started at 6,850, and the amount that I have allocated has already been adjusted down. So ideally, we go down to 0, but we know that not all ravers maybe will. So at the end of the first round, any monies from participants, you can see the participants list here, that hasn't been allocated yet, at the end of the round, it will be reallocated to active ravers. So in order for you to remain an active raver, you have to allocate monies to the projects that are here. And just so that I do that again, so you can see what I'm doing, I'm clicking on a project. I'm clicking on fund. I'm allocating an amount. I hit fund. It's gone. Once I have allocated the money, I cannot take it back. So please allocate with care. If you are a raver, I'm going to stop sharing. If you're a raver, there's also at the top of the co-budget a guide to help you make decisions. Please ask the projects your questions. So for example, the suggestion I made now to the last project, I will put that in writing so that other ravers can consider this also when they are allocating the money. Questions help projects refine what they are doing, the objectives and so on. Please don't edit your bucket. It should reflect your application, but you can reply subsequently on the topics to elaborate on this or to respond to the questions. Rogers, you couldn't see my screen. Okay, you will be able to see the recording and then it will be there, I think. Everyone else, it was showing when I was showing it, yes? Good. So I'll make sure I will clip that part of the recording so you can have a little demo on how to do this. I hope that addresses that. Yes, the recording will be available. Good. You have the round is going to add. The YouTube recording doesn't have it either. I will make one. I will make a separate demo. No, it doesn't matter. It takes a few minutes for me to do that. On the timeline of the Emergent Festival, which you can find in the subcategory Emergent Festival, in the first top pinned post about Emergent Festival, there is the timeline there. So the ravers, you should know until when you have time to allocate your money. If you don't allocate all the money, then that money is going to be put again in the pot and redistributed to people who have participated in the voting. Do you have any questions? We have 7 projects. Total ask is 7,000, and we only have 6,850, which means someone or a number of projects is going to be just below the asking. What happens in this case is that you can review your objectives and adjust accordingly. Because the amount is not large, I think most projects will be funded, but please vote with care. Like as ravers, as CoLab members, you have responsibility about how this money is used. You don't just vote randomly because I like the sound of that and I like the sound of this. This is not about liking a project or not liking it, but how well does it fit into the CoLab structure? Where do we want the energy to go? And asking the questions again, like I said, is important. So especially with the integration pieces, because the Emergent Festival is only a 6-month project with £1,000. So the bigger question is, how will that continue after? Just like Joe said, like, what are we doing with all these small unfinished projects which run out of energy and motivation? So we want to see truly emergent things that can continue. And so, yeah, I think I park it there. Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Amy. That was very beautiful. I think if anyone has a problem with the core budget, they don't asking is always the best thing that we do. And I just wanted to emphasize that it's very important for all of us to mark our calendars of the important dates, or because they are very mandatory, and especially the reporting deadlines that we need to put them on our calendar so that we cannot miss that. So as we are doing that, we are supporting. Can we please choose wisely, as we know that it's not about the matter of liking, it's a matter of seeing the future in the project. And I believe that everyone has presented themselves in a sense that they've sold themselves. And as rivers that we are allocating money. I can see the money going. I can see Charlie is putting in money in some projects. I can see that. And thank you so much. You've done well for all of you guys. Paul, I don't know if we have to, are we going in from here?
I don't know if anyone has any specific questions based on what we're doing now. So now people are allocating money. Can you allocate money to your own group? That's my question. I don't think I know the answer.
You can. You can. Obviously, do it with a good conscience. So think about, maybe if you put all your money in your project, in your own projects, other ravers won't support you because they see that you're being a little bit selfish. So, you know, we don't have any rules against voting for your own projects. Absolutely support your own projects because that's close to your heart and you want to do it and you see value in it. So that's completely fine. But yes, vote with some good conscience.
Yes.
Presumably
Thank you
as
so
well.
much. Yes.
Just presumably as well, Amy, or Makulu have done this before. You should try and spend all of your money in the first round, rather than waiting to see what happens, because more than likely a bit more money will come back in anyway when some ravers drop out. So it's probably good to get your money out now into the projects, and then there may be a bit more of opportunity later. Is that right?
Yes, it is likely that there will be a second round because some of the ravers will be unresponsive or don't want to participate. And so, yes, there will be a little bit more money. So if you are engaged and really want to, then please allocate your money before the deadline of the first round. Eileen, I see your comment. I'll contact you separately to Actually, I won't contact you separately. This is what we'll do. Please go on the community space, find there is a post for ravers roles and responsibilities, and there is instructions there how to report a tech issue. And I'm self-censoring here and self-correcting because it is one of my personal challenges to put things through the right channels and not try to fix every problem. I hope that's okay. Thank you. Can you also transfer the money in installments? You can take your time to vote, so that's completely fine to do that. Yes, and I echo Maria's sentiment that all projects seem very exciting and worthy, and it's going to be hard to allocate. Any more questions?
Actually, just one more question. If you allocate some money to a project, can you then go back and allocate more afterwards, or do you get locked out?
No, you can allocate as many times to a project as you want. What you cannot do is undo an allocation. So if I allocated that £1 in the demo, then I cannot take that £1 back. That I have allocated it. It's done. Joe?
Hi, and Amy, correct me if I'm wrong. Yes, you can allocate as many times, but only per round you can allocate. Suppose, say, if you do not allocate in round 1, then
you lose the money.
Exactly, you lose that money, and that will be redistributed to the leftover ravers.
Yes.
And then, so the two points to note: if you are interested in allocating the money, do all of it. If you leave anything, then know that if you leave anything, then the second round will kick on. That money will be transferred. And ravers who are already doing first time, and you think, oh, I've allocated all my monies, still watch out, be alive, be present for the second round to kick in, because we've known from the past, we've done a couple of rounds to get all the allocations in place.
Absolutely, right? Yes. And once the allocation is made to your account, you will also receive an email that you have been allocated more money to distribute. So there is a sign there, and the crew will also tell you that the second round is kicking off. And there will probably also be a reminder before the end of the first round to make sure everyone who wants to allocate has allocated. If you have any tech support issues, then please go on the community space. There is a post there in the Emergent Festival. The digital circle will help you. There are a number of ravers who haven't been on the co-budget yet. So if you're watching this recording, then please go ahead and look for that email from the co-budget. All the emails that were included on the co-budget are from the Your Collab community space account. So this is your official email address by which the Collab communicates with you. So this is what was used there. If you want a different email, then you will have to report a tech support issue, and then we'll send you a new invite to your desired address. Anything else that needs to be said?
Yes, I think teams, we need to remember that there is an agreement team, which is that we need to fill, and the folder that we need to work on, and a lean time project to track a project and time. So it's important, maybe the digital circle or the crew, festival crew, they will send you the next cloud as Amy said. Please look out for that and make sure that in that folder there is a team agreement. Make sure that you fill all of it. Thank you so much.
You will get all the links and everything to the lean time, the project, and all of that after the confirmation that your project will be going ahead, which is the official date on the timeline is the 1st of May. So between now and then, we will do the 3 rounds of allocation. And once those are complete, then we will let you know. And the digital circle will get in touch with you with logins and links and so on in collaboration with the crew.
Yes, thank you so much. Anyone has any question? If you have a question, please come forward. Any question, any comment? I think we people have they understand what is happening, and just to remind you that a team should appoint an accountability officer let's not forget that the person will explain details, and they're already considered by signing up as the aspiring contributors. So when you have signed, it means that you have agreed. So each team must make sure that accountability officer is there. Thank you so much. I don't know if there's anything, Amy, that I'm missing, or colleagues, anything that I'm missing, so that we can comfort before we are maybe heading to our conclusion of our festival today.
Only that you can ask the crew any questions directly in the subcategory in the Emergent Festival, the discourse, the community spaces where all official communication, and also all of you have signed up to use it as a main communication tool. So we expect to see you there, and this is the tool we're using to take questions and so on.
Yes, of course. Thank you so much, Amy, for pointing that out. Paul, do you have anything that you want to say for the team to remember?
I'm seeing great questions already in those areas, and there's already some conversation starting backwards and forth. So that's brilliant. So do get it's not just questions, it's also if you want to get involved, if you know that you feel you can contribute something, if you've got some ideas, get that in as well to the discourse, because that's obviously what it's all about. So fantastic. Otherwise, that's all.
Thank you so much. By saying that, team, I think that we are getting to the conclusion of today by saying that on your way out, I need you to say this festival was. When I'm saying this festival, you're going to say was. So my fest was amazing. Amy?
You stole my word. Yes, amazing. I echo that. Anton?
Great. Here's my word. Paul?
Expensive. I've just already spent £297. What happened? I've spent it already. I need more. Maria?
Inspiring. Camille?
Awesome. Vida?
My word also got taken. I was going to say inspiring, but yeah, really, really cool to see everyone. Sorry for not having one word. How are you, Charlie?
Great. I will pass to Joe.
Equitable. I'll pass to Eileen.
Verse. Passing to Rory.
Enlightening. And I pass on to Rogers.
Of maybe educative, and I pass it to Ivy.
I think Amy has spoken.
Eileen?
I have two.
Who else haven't we? Kakalasta?
Put your hands up if you
Camille?
haven't been.
I'll say it has been fantabulous. So I made a word.
Kate has said festive, by the way. Still not able to speak. But Kate, you haven't said who's next. But is there anybody left? Hands up or jump in.
Vida?
I've spoken, guys. Rogers?
I think that's everyone. I think Roger spoke.
Okay. Thank you so much. I think all of us we went. If you have done what you didn't go, please show with your hand. But now, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for showing up with the best launch of 2026, the Grow Emergent Festival. It was great to have you. It was so great to have you with those remarks. Make sure that you take home what is positive. Make sure that you spend that money before you sleep or before you go to work. Ladies and gentlemen, all around the world, I love you. There's nothing you can do about it. Thank you so much for coming and joining us. By saying that, I'm saying Siyabonga. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you to the crew.
Thank you. Gracias. Santi sana.
Bye. Hasta luego. You can stop the recording, Anton, now.